Namaskar, I am Dr. Shivani Swami, a consultant in the Department of Pulmonology and Sleep Medicine at Narayana Multi-Speciality Hospital, Jaipur. So when we talk about overlap syndrome, this is basically targeted at diseases which have common features and can coexist in different patients. We have a lot of overlap diseases when we talk about things. It can also be COPD, asthma, but when we particularly talk about sleep disorders, we have a very close overlap syndrome with the respiratory diseases like COPD, that is the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or the ILD, which are the group of interstitial lung diseases. So these are diseases which have, when we talk with accompanying sleep apnea, that we say that these are the overlap syndromes with sleep apnea. So these are patients basically of COPD and ILD who have much worse nocturnal hypoxemia or hypercarbia as compared to their counterparts who do not have sleep apnea and have only plain COPDs or ILDs alone. So these are patients, when we treat them and diagnose them, and we change their treatment or modify their treatment as per the diagnosis which is done by the overnight polysomnography. And when we have diagnosed them to have a component of sleep apnea and we treat it with PAP therapy, these are patients who actually show extreme improvement in their symptoms and have a way better quality of life. So these are some things that as doctors we must never miss and should always be on a watch out for. So the diagnosis of the syndrome is very simple, that we conduct an overnight polysomnography, but we do not know in which patient should we be conducting these polysomnographies. So these are basically patients of COPD or ILD who basically come to you with frequent exacerbations, do not have clinical improvement despite being on optimum therapy. Then they have complaints of not waking up fresh. The family may say that they snore, they have disturbed nighttime sleep, they have excessive daytime sleepiness. These are patients who may, when you see them in the OPD, may appear to be obese, they may not even be obese. Then these are patients who would say that they have excessive daytime sleepiness, they have a thick neck, they have central obesity. So these are patients, they may have other comorbidities like uncontrolled hypertension or uncontrolled diabetes. These are the patient subset where we should be extremely watchful to look for sleep related breathing disorders which can be accompanying their basic COPD or ILD. And these are patients, when we actually diagnose them with an overnight polysomnography, in some cases we may even need to do an arterial blood gas, and when we treat these patients with PAP therapy, they show an extreme amount of improvement in all their symptoms, and even their basic diseases like COPD and ILD show a better control. So the treatment for this syndrome remains a very basic of course we are treating the primary disease, but in addition to that, these are patients who may need PAP therapy, which is the positive airway pressure therapy, which are basically small machines which with the help of an interface, which is the mask, will deliver pressurized air to keep the airway open while these patients are sleeping, to maintain their oxygen levels, maintain a good respiration so the carbon dioxide is washed out. And these therapies are available very easily across the world and are to be used only while the patient is sleeping and not usually while they are awake. However, when the patient takes afternoon naps, they can use it at that point as well. So if a patient uses it for 4 to 5 hours at least during the night, it shows an immense amount of improvement, and this is the gold standard of therapy accepted world over. So when we are talking about these patients who have sleep apnea, what we basically see is that they have repeated recurrent dips in their oxygen level while they are sleeping. These dips can be very frequent and they last for at least 10 seconds or longer. So these patients, basically for recurrent hypoxemia, they do not sleep well, they have very poor quality of sleep, they are not waking up fresh, they feel drowsy the entire day, they may tend to just doze off even while they are driving. So road traffic accidents or decreased proficiency at work are very commonly seen in these patients. But when we talk of long-term side effects, it includes almost everything under the sun that we talk about these days. So these are patients who will have uncontrolled hypertension, they will have uncontrolled diabetes. These are patients who are more prone to cardiovascular events like heart attacks or strokes. These are patients who will have more incidence of cancers, as has been proven in a lot of studies. They have sexual dysfunction, they have a lot of other problems that almost a lot of arrhythmias, that is irregular heart rate. So these are patients who have a lot of these problems, and sometimes the basic problem is actually not even addressed or discovered, and it goes undiagnosed for years together before somebody picks it up. And once it is picked up and treated, these patients show a tremendous amount of improvement even in the other comorbid conditions. So when we talk of sleep related breathing disorders, it's actually very common. Almost 19 to 25% of people who visit any hospital facility for any given problem are found to be having some form of sleep related breathing disorder. But we don't really pick it up so well in our country because the awareness is very low. So we often ignore that people who come to us with excessive sleepiness, are not waking up fresh, have headaches in the morning, have a problem of snoring, have disturbed nighttime sleep. They may be waking up frequently to drink water, or tossing and turning in bed, or maybe using the washroom repeatedly at night. So these are people who basically have a sleep related problem, and most commonly a sleep related breathing problem. But in a lot of people, we see that these people are actually prescribed sedatives and hypnotics for treatment, which probably makes their problem much worse. So these are people who should be reporting to a sleep physician, or at least the treating physician should be looking for a sleep related breathing trouble in these people.